Welcome, guys, to this inaugural, chat about the Bike Ballinrobe Ultra. It's taking place on Saturday, March 12th, and it's, I suppose, you know the ins and outs. It's opened for, there's a 12-hour and there's a 6-hour, open to solos, pairs, and we are allowing 4-person teams in the 12-hour. I suppose the main thing on it is we're getting quite a few questions. What's it all about? What is it? And all the rest of it. So basically, it's 10:30 on Saturday the 12th. So 10:30 in the morning. Hooter will go Le Mans style. You run across, collect your bike, very much like the Mondello 24. Hop on your bike, and the aim is to do as many laps as is possible, either in the 6 or the 12-hour. You can stop whenever you like at the changeover area. You can pop up to the paddock area, and I suppose it's a great opportunity to come along and try out Ultra with having your crew or your support crew right beside you, literally, and you're always on the one track. You'd be seen from the one area all of the time, and I think it's a great opportunity to try out the Ultra. I suppose that's the big thing. Now, I'm kind of going to go through some of the questions. So rather than we go and answer questions from the floor, there are a few people have asked, how does it work, or who's it open to, or what kind of an ability do I have? So basically, it's open. It's not for, I won't say it's not for racers. It's for all cyclists. And the whole aim is, testing your endurance. Like how long, how far can you go in either time, the 6 hour or the 12-hour. It's going to be done slightly different than Mondello. We're going to have what's called the dead zone. And in the dead zone, if you're stopped any longer than 2 seconds in the dead zone, that's going to be downtime. And the whole idea of that is we'll be able to tell you when you finish is how long you were actually cycling and how long you were actually stopped. And for the teams, that's obviously going to cater for both how long, like how much time did you lose on changeovers. That could become very apparent as the hours pass by. I think we're going to come up with a lot of data. I was talking to Core Timon. They're going to be our partner on this, and basically we can give as much data as is required. So, for example, the solos will get obviously all their lap times. They'll get their average lap times, their fastest lap times, amount of time on the bike, amount of time stopped, and for the likes of the pairs and the 4-person team, we're going to do individual timing shifts for each of those. So we'll be able to say, for example, if you have a 2-person team and it's 2:01 and 2:02, we'll have different data for both of those, and they'll be able to get that at the end of their events. So it's going to be quite a data collection throughout the 6 or the 12 hours for like basically for everybody. As regards how the event works, it's very simple. It's a 1 mile or 1.6k loop or lap. The actual track is 14 feet wide, very smooth tarmac and it has got 2 meters of elevation per lap. So it's as flat as you're going to get, basically. The biggest factor that I can see on it would be wind, and other than that, I can't see it being done. It's not going to be a major issue for anybody. The training day will be quite useful in that we're going to see what it's like there with quite a number of participants. Now, we have used it like over the last 15 years for loads of different types of races and training spins and all the rest of kids events. I know what it's like with 50 people on it. And just so that you know, we have it restricted to 50. At any one time, there'll be no more than 50 chips or 50 bikes out en route. That's the most we'll be allowing. And I can see the first hour, right, until people spread out. But that first hour is the only time I can see quite a bit of conversion. Obviously, it's draft legal. No TT bikes allowed. No aero handlebars allowed on, and no what I would call the pointy aero helmets. You can use an aero helmet, but not with the ones with the pointy out the back. No we're also will be kind of strict on, say, the type of position that you hold. So obviously, anything that's UCI illegal, read your position on the handlebars, you'll be pulled on it. We will have a commissar. Like if the event is going to have credibility, it needs a commissar, and the commissar will obviously, Joe, is going to liaise with us as event directors, and if they feel that there's penalties needed or disqualifications needed, we're going to go on their qualified opinion. I think that's very important, especially for the longevity of the event. Moving down here, one thing we noticed that a few ultras or a few different events, and I'm not going to name ones, like iPods and earbuds are not allowed, and on the track they're definitely not allowed. So you'd be passing you'd be passing the pits area, and you'd be passing the potential, say, food area every mile, or approximately, give or take, around the 2-minute mark. So like if you need to communicate, there's plenty of option to give a shout or give a roar. There's no need to say, well, I need a radio contact, so I'll be able to be in this person's ear 24/7. That's going to be distraction. And likewise with music, definitely going to be a distraction. Another question to come in. If I wanted to rack up and just do it on my own, by all means, you're more than welcome. You can pull your car literally within 70 meters of the track, which is pretty close. You can pop out at the either the transition area or the changeover area, go in and get your food, back out again, and away you go. Now, obviously, that'll be all timed with the timing. So you don't actually need crew, be it for the 6-hour or the 12-hour. Would I recommend crew? If I was doing it myself, I would definitely like to have some crew. But again, it all depends on what you want out of it. If you want to go there and just say you've never done over 6 hours before, or you've never done a 6-hour spin, and you want to see what could I rack up in 6 hours, well then what I would suggest is you go out there nice and steady, and maybe take a break, maybe every 2 hours, come in, have a cup of tea, get a little bit of food into you, go back out again for 2 more hours, and then maybe in the last 2 hours, maybe stop somewhere with about maybe, say, 45 minutes to go. That'll guarantee you'll finish your 6 hours. And again, you use a similar strategy for your 12-hour. Again, there's loads of different strategies. The option there to pull in when things, if you're whatever, sore back or tight back, or your neck is at you, like what you call it, if you're doing ultra for a newbie, drooper's neck, or that neck where the problem where you find to keep your kind of your neck up, or keep it in an upward position, like it does cause problems after a while. And sometimes just to come in, have a foam roller, throw down a mat on the ground, and away you go for maybe whatever 30 seconds, a couple of minutes, and do a bit of a rollout. Makes all the difference. You go back out again, you go to a new person, and you can motor along. A few people asked, are there any females doing it? Yes, we are. We have one of them there. She's helped us with the setup of this tonight, and that is Joanne Murphy from Try Talking Sport, and also her budding partner from the Galway Babes, Karen Cassie. Both of those are doing it. So there'll be quite a bit of knowledge there on hand. Also, the Connacht Ladies rep is having a go at it, Stephanie Carr. I don't think this is our first ultra, but it might be our first solo ultra. So it's a massive opportunity to try out ultra solo. And like being on the track, you're not going to be worried about cars, you're not going to be worried about dogs, sheep, or anything else. All the things that become apparent if you're out on a road ultra. Like a road ultra, you're literally trying to minimize the uncontrollables. Well, on the Ballinrobe racecourse, there are so many controllables. Like all you really have to worry about is cycling, drinking, and getting your food in, and obviously your pacing. That's going to be crucial. So, anything else I need or to talk about? People asking, can you feed trackside? Yes, we're looking at that. We're looking at having an area that you can pull into a dish to feed trackside, which basically means it'll be somewhere in what we call the dead zone, that 2-second zone. I think that's important. How long you're actually stopped. So rather than pulling it clean off the track, we're going to create this what's called the dead zone or transition zone or feeding zone, whichever way you want to call it. But basically, once you go in there and you don't pass through in 2 seconds, you're going to start your time will actually be timed as time stopped. So that'll be added on at the end. If I'm a part of a team, somebody asks where we're going to be doing the changeover again, it will be in that area. And another person asked, would that area be very busy for everybody stopping together? Like from watching what has happened at other ultras or what happened in Mondello, believe it or not, the transition area ain't going to be that busy. The only time I'll ever see busy is if teams are all coming in together. And we actually are going to put we're not going to come along and allow, say, 50 teams. We might allow maybe up to a max and maybe of 10 teams. And after that, no, it'll be solos and pairs. Another question. Will I have some, say, paddock space for me? Will it be allocated? Yes. Will it be on a first come, first served basis? No, we will number it out. And so whatever rider one will get, obviously the allocation space for rider one, and so on until we have a different area for the teams. Teams will be slightly further away because obviously they don't have time isn't of the essence as regards getting to and from the transition area. Everybody will have to wear a number, as in a bib number that'll be pinned to the back. But that number will not have a timing chip. It's just another form of identification that we'll be able to use with our camera equipment and also for taking photos. But we will have a timing chip. Now that timing chip, we're playing around with it. It can either go on the ankle or on the wrist or into your back pocket, either of those 3 places. That is going to be tested out on the training day, and we're going to see how accurate it's going to be. From my experience, this is for me, we need to get that, and for our race team, we need to have that working 100%. And as I said earlier on, like what's measured in the timing? Well, there's obviously timing is measured, but the big part of this is the distance. The distance covered inside the 2 allocated time distance, as in 6 and 12 hours. And I suppose the big thing is, like, this is a personal challenge. It's like, it's not, even though it's an ultra race, if you want to call it a race, really it's very much a personal job. It's about you. It's not about us. What we're there to do is provide the facilities, provide the timing, provide the paddock area, make sure the event runs correctly, that it's officiated, and that you have a very good experience. Our idea is to try and give everybody that solo experience, but in a confined area, in a safe area. And I suppose that's kind of it from our part. Like we have a lot of work done here with the Ballinrobe Racecourse. They're actually out there. They have it all swept as of today. And we'll be doing, obviously, on the training day, you'll get to see it a lot better. And I think it's a great event for someone that's new to Ultra and want to see what they're like going along. Will you be bored for the just going around the 1 mile track, lap after lap after lap? Maybe. What I would suggest, if I was doing it, I'd be breaking it down into small chunks. Do 10 laps, right? Have 10 laps done, then maybe do another 5 laps, so that's 15 laps. So break it down just to see like how long that took. So I'll be working that out in my head. That'll be just myself. You will get into a zone. Anyone that does ultra, like if you start thinking about the overall distance right from kilometer 1, you're going to crack. You have to break it down to small bite sizes and chew on them for X amount of time. Once you get over the first 2 hours, I think time will fly. From what I've seen at the Mondello event, like the cheering and the support from the sidelines, like it really made a huge difference to all the participants. It definitely helped them to go that little bit faster and that little bit longer, and the enjoyment and the camaraderie, and even the crew, how the crew got involved and how their families got involved. Like, I just thought it was really good. And we're bringing that to Ballinrobe, which is quite local for us, obviously, but it's quite central to the rest of the country as well. So I suppose that's enough of me talking. I'm not sure does Brian want to say anything. He was helping out on the track as well and knows the whole ins and outs. But that's all my bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's not a bit boring at all, the track. You know, people could be nervous about it. I'm just working out here. Like it'll take something around 3 minutes to do a lap. So, you know, for an hour you're talking 20 laps, and if you break it into chunks like that and do your hour and take a break, or do 2 hours and take a break, like it really does zip along. And the track, as I said, isn't boring. There's a little bit of a drag on it. It isn't completely flat. You want to have your wits about you, just going around the sweeping bends. You can go around the bends absolutely flat out, but you just need to know what you're at. So, you know, you'll find yourself practicing at it. It's fun. Like the track is fun. We've raced it with the Western Covey League for a few years. We did not great crack out of it. Anyone that has been on it has said we need to do more on this, and that's where myself and Porrick have got the idea of putting this on. It's as safe as could be. There's no cars. You know, if you're going to go off the bike, you're going to go onto the grass either side. You know, if anything goes wrong on you, like you can fall either side. Even if you bump into someone, you'd be awful unlucky to get badly hurt. So, like, it's great for that. But if any of you have any questions or something you'd like to know, just unmute yourself and ask, because that's what we're here for. You know, this is yours. This is your chance to find out as much as you want about what we're putting on. So if you do want to ask a question, just unmute and ask away. Because this is a learning curve for us too.
Porrick Benson here.
Hi, Porrick.
Not too bad at all. Is there pits like there was in Mondello where you can actually have a facility to plug in a camper van or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a paddock area. Basically, it's at the tote area of the race course, which is what, probably 40 meters, 50 meters from the track. It's very close. And there's actually toilet areas. There's about 4 toilets. Some of them have multi-toilets, but there's 4 big toilets all within 100 meters off the track. So there's loads of room, but there's a toilet literally from 30 meters from the track as well.
And is there electricity available at that point?
There is, yeah, there is.
Yeah, there are power leads there, the outdoor power plugs. So I presume it's 110 volt power, but yeah, it is there. Just
yeah, there's the normal 220 as well, Brian, if providing you have extension leads, but yeah, we have to be kind of careful where we ravel them and put in too many together. We don't want people putting in burkers and kettles and toasters all at the one time. A bit like what happened in an event there. But the outdoor ones, if people use the outdoor, the 110, there'll be no problem.
Tara, did I see you want to ask something there?
No, I was just going to say on the plugs, they're probably 3-pin, not the EHUs you get in camper sites.
Yeah, 3-pin, yeah.
3-pin, the round blue one.
3-pin, yeah. No, the same as, sorry, Dara, the same as the campsite. 110.
Oh dear, okay, great, okay, even better.
Yeah, same as campsite,
yeah. That is a nice thing about this with the, you know, the paddock, like Porrick said, it's 40 or 50 meters. It probably isn't even that. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Ballinrobe Racecourse, but if you remember, the tote has to be right beside the track so that they can see what's going on. So if you can just picture where the betting spots are on the track, that you can look down, you know, on the track. So you can be standing there. If you have a crew in the pit, they better watch what's going on because they're above the track. So you have a good vantage point for it as well. And like the fact that we've gone with the 2-second in and out. So when you come into the pit lane, your timer will pause. So then you can go and do whatever you want and it'll restart when you come out of the pit lane. So that's a handy thing as well. I just see a question coming in there, Porrick, from Kenneth. Thanks for putting on the event. Can you explain how the last lap works if we get that far?
Yeah, basically we give the hooter when the last lap goes. It's like a bell, and once you come around, that's it, finished. That's up to us to work out. So just say, for example, you know, the fastest lap time is to say 2 minutes, which is quite a fast lap time. But then, and they pass that line, and they have 2.5 minutes left, obviously, to get a chance to do the last lap. But if they pass there and there's 90 seconds left, that's their lap finished. But that will be given, that bell will be given pretty much.
About 3 minutes to go, we'll do that.
Yeah, basically.
So you're talking at 22:27 that night. We're going to start at 10:30, so we'll finish it up. We'll do it for the 6 hour as well. We'll give a last lap for the 6 hour, and we'll give a last lap for the 12 hour. Hopefully you'll be in the running then to see, can you make up another few meters and try and get another lap in at that stage.
Obviously, it does make a difference. It does make a difference.
Dara, you have your hand up there. Have you another question?
Yeah. Can support people leave the confines of the course? So like there's a big garage down the road that does all sorts
absolutely.
of
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no problem, Dara. You can come and go to the pits. That'll be very straightforward. You can walk straight out the front of the race course, or you can, now put it this way, you won't be taking your camper van in and out. You'll be set up for the day. But like if your family arrive there, they'll be able to drive and park and come in and go out and do it, do as they want. And keep in mind, guys, the COVID restrictions have lifted. So we're not stuck with the social distancing as much and things like that. We would like you to just try and keep it in mind that if you're coughing and spluttering, it might be great to be showing up, giving it to everybody else. But just take it that you'll be able to come and go as you please.
That's actually just on Dara's question as well. What I would suggest is you won't just say you have a camper van there. You won't be taking the camper van in and out of the paddock area, because once you're set up, like you'd be going across leads and whatever else. If you were thinking to get out, or you want to get out early, or you want to get out before you finish, I would be thinking of setting up in a different area. That's what I would be suggesting.
Yeah, we'll try and work that out too for the 6 hours and the 12 hours. That when people finish the 6 hour, we'll be able to let them off without them upsetting the camper vans or so that are there for the 12 hours. But like, don't worry about that. We'll have that organised for you.
And parking for, say, supporters and all that, as regards, say, family or anything, that'll be obviously in the front of the race course. It won't be in where the riders and all that is. It's a different area.
Yeah,
so
but they will be able to come in to where the riders are.
Yeah, absolutely no problem.
It's just for the parking. Guys, I have 6.5 minutes left on this. You can either put something up in the chat box there at the bottom if you want to ask questions, or like Dara there, just ask away if there's anything you want to know. Now is your chance to pick our brains. Not that there's an awful lot in them, but we will help.
All good.
Yeah, in fairness to the guys, Anthony, go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, just Porrick. I suppose we'll be Anthony Murray here, Westport Bike Shop. I'll be relaying back to my guys in multisport there. A lot of beginner cyclists.
Yeah.
Any tips in regards to bike setup that I might not be thinking about? Maybe like double bar tape or stem lengths and stuff like that from your experience as ultra cyclists.
No, not really. No, I suppose a lot of the mistakes people make is they try to make the bikes too aero. Like comfort, if you're doing ultra, comfort is number one, and so not too mad. Obviously, don't have the handlebars slammed down, and obviously saddles pointed, pushed really far forward. Again, that's a big no-no for doing ultra. But again, a relaxed setup that's comfortable. Good quality shorts. I would highly recommend that. And the other most important thing is actually socks. I'd have multi pairs of socks, and obviously having your bike in really good condition. That's paramount. Your ultra experience could be destroyed if you have bad tires on you. Now, the likelihood of puncturing should be very slim, but buckles or bad gear changing. That for newbies, like having their bikes in tip-top condition and wearing good quality shorts and socks, paramount.
Yeah, there's a question came in there from Noel Cusick. Are you happy with that, Anthony?
Yeah, no, it's just have I missed anything from it's more of a racing background, like your likes of Dara Delaney there, and that did in Mondello, should they be bringing change of clothes? Were the participants changing for the 12 hours, or was that more of a?
Yeah, no, in fairness, in Mondello, they were very lucky with the rain. They got a very bad day. And again, that could happen to us as well in Ballinrobe. Like, we can't do anything about the weather. But what happened in Mondello is they were changing and the solos probably were going maybe 3 hours. Anytime they came in for food, they changed. Whereas it was different for the team riders. The team riders could change whenever obviously when they had their stint done, they came back in, because obviously they'd be sweating or they'd be wet from doing their stint. So they came in, they changed straight away. So obviously if you're a relay or so that means either a pair or the 4-person team, I would recommend at least 3, maybe 4 sets of clothes. If you're a solo, for the 6 hour and the weather was dry and you've good clothes on, I wouldn't be changing. And likewise for the 12 hour, I wouldn't be changing. But that's just me. It depends on if you feel that a change of clothes is going to make the difference, then by all means change.
Yeah, just a quick question there.
There's loads of areas.
We're just a little bit tight for time, guys. Quick question there from Noel Cusick about the track lighting. There is no track lighting, Noel. So like, it will only be in the evening, and we do expect you guys to have lights on your bikes. And Miriam asked, is there any mechanics? Yeah, we're myself and Porrick are there, and there will be other mechanics. So like, if you have a problem with the bike, don't be afraid to shout at us. But for your own comfort, have your bike in top condition, because there's nothing worse than you going around there an hour into it, or with an hour to go, and something goes wrong on the bike and you're the far side of the track and you're saying, oh, how did I miss that?
The one thing on that is, like, really the bike, the responsibility, like, if somebody's bike breaks down, we will endeavor to help, but obviously, it depends how serious you want to take it. Like, some people bring, obviously second bikes, second pairs of wheels and all that. But having your bike in tip-top condition is that's very important. And come here, there is the chance you could rub wheels or go off track or lose concentration. There is obviously that chance, but it's slim. But obviously, if your bike breaks down and it's unrepairable, there isn't much we can do about that. That's just bike racing and biking in general.
I see Dara there, bring a spare pair of gloves too. Different brands can help. Yeah, that is a good point. Your hands are going to be in the one spot in the handlebar. For anyone that's new to ultra racing, this is something that you mightn't be familiar with, but anyone that has spent hours in the saddle and know that the palms and flat parts of your hands, the contact points of the bike can get quite sore. So yeah, a second pair of gel coated gloves, they'd be absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I suppose you made a good point there, Joe. The 3 points, feet, saddle, and handlebars. That's where your body touches the bike, and you want to have them, have those set up and have as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, Miriam says, can we bring a second spare bike?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can bring as many bikes as you want, Miriam, and you can play with them and use them. The only thing we say is you can't use the TT bikes.
Yeah. Guys, that's it for tonight.
We're down to the last.
So if anyone else has any questions, I think the best thing to do is actually give us an email. But I would highly recommend, if you can, turn up on the training day. You have to sign up for that online. The link is on our website. And other than that, enjoy your training for the next week or so. And sure, we'll chat soon.
Well done. Thanks for joining. Take care, guys.